talented and beautiful, the Emmy Award-winning Dana Delany to the studio to talk about
Men
the
are
show.
always running out of patience with me.
Just hang in there with me, too. Welcome back, we should say. It's been a little while. It was mid-season, your first
I love
season,
this
right?
whole new and improved status.
Yeah, we've also grown.
That just tells us that it's been way too long since we've had you. It's really good to have you with us. How do you like doing TV? It's a very demanding schedule, but it's also a chance to create a character and then live with that character for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do. If you like the character, it's great, and I love this character. She's so... I can go any direction I want with the character because she's really smart, but she's also really troubled, and she's kind of snarky, so there's a lot of things going on.
Detective Tommy Sullivan shows up this time around, but your character has had a long-standing history with him, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Tommy Sullivan is played by Mark Valley. He's a New York City cop, and he and I dated 20 years earlier when I was a medical student. It did not end well. So he has come to Philadelphia not only to win me back, but to also work with me, and I'm not happy about either.
And you show it. You're not shy about hiding it at all. Last time you were here, we talked about the dialogue on the show and how tough it was for certain words, certain procedures. You still feel that way, or are you a lot more comfortable with
Well, this season's a little bit different. This season is a lot more action, so we're more out in the field, so there's a little less of the medical terminology, which I'm perfectly happy about.
Right.
I'm running in high heels now.
Yeah, and because of the medical terminology, there's a particular type of food that you said you didn't like to eat.
Well, yes, I observed 4 different real autopsies, and once you've seen the intestines, which look a lot like turkey sausage, it was kind of hard to eat that. But you know what? I'm back. I'm eating it again.
Oh, you're back eating turkey sausage.
It's like pregnancy. You forget.
So you're okay now, right?
Yeah.
With it, right? Oh,
but I can see that. I can see having that association between those two things.
Yeah, they're just kind of linked sausages.
There's a visual for you. Talk about body of proof.
People don't realize that. It's all in a day's work, right? There's some research that goes into this whole thing.
That's the fun part.
I'm interested in, so I read an interview in which you said that you had kind of sort of a love-hate relationship with publicity, with the need to do publicity, because you're very much an actor's actor. You really dig into your roles, but that means in some ways you can walk down the street and there might be days when you don't get recognized. If you're,
but no, that happens most of the time.
Is that a thing you love, or is that a thing that you go like, hey, I've had a career, I've won Emmys, why don't you recognize me?
Well, it's a funny thing. When I'm at home, I'm never recognized because I don't wear any makeup, and my uniform is jeans, sneakers, and a T-shirt. So no big deal. I don't do my hair and all that stuff. I was just in Paris, and my whole life, my dream has been to be famous in Paris. I'm telling you, that was my childhood dream. And I was. Really? I was so happy.
So what happened when you were there?
I walked down the street and people would stop me. Wow. I could not have been happier.
It's a great feeling.
It is a good
great feeling to know that your work is not only known here, but known overseas.
Well, what's interesting is the Parisians, it's true, me and Jerry Lewis, and Sharon Stone, too, they like darker characters. And I've always tended to play more of a dark, like in Desperate Housewives, I was a darker character, and they loved that.
I was just going to ask you, what was the difference between the fans there versus here? But
they like a little more complexity. They like women that look like women. They have no problem with that, They don't like all the plastic thing, and so it was nice.
And that's what I was going to say. I think the French like more complicated, more substantial women. I don't think necessarily as interested in your swimsuit model as they are.
No, they're not interested in Barbie dolls at all.
Exactly, which is kind of a nice thing. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to ask Dana about romance and the secret to aging gracefully. And pulling off those boots.
I know, right?
How do you pull? I couldn't pull off those boots.